What's up, YouTube fam? Robbie C here, and we are out in Lynchburg, Virginia, which, as you may or may not know, is not Alabama, and there are a few fantastic people that live in this town. We are starting episode 1 of a brand new series here on the channel. Welcome to Birdie Talks. Birdie Talks. Birdie Talks is your disc golf interview show here on the Robbie C channel, where we are going to make some relatable content. Relatable and answering some questions, getting to know some disc golfers in a different way. And how do we get to know them? Well, trying to keep it entertaining. We're going to be out here shanking some drives, missing some putts, and who knows, maybe make a highlight reel every now and again. But we are going to bring on our first guest, starting things off with the president himself, president of foundation. I don't know if it's like technically your title, but
Brad calls me it, so I just roll with it.
Yeah,
I never gave myself that title.
Come on. Well, welcome to the channel, Hunter Thomas. Glad to have you here.
Stoked to be
solo video. We've got 18 questions, 18 holes. We're with the front 9, and then next week you'll see the back 9. So let's dive on in with our first question. So super simple, starting it off. If you could steal a disc golf skill from any pro, what would it be and from who?
Can I pick like a certain year of a pro?
Sure.
2015 Macbeth putting.
Okay, awesome.
Simple. That's the only right answer.
Dominant, awesome. All right, well, you want to show us what we got for this hole?
Yeah, I think we're gonna play the short tees out here. That way, hopefully you have a little bit better chance at highlights. So we got 260 feet, dead straight ahead under the trees there.
Come on.
I'll start us off with a little putter throw, huh? Too high. Sneak though. Okay. Well, we're gonna see if I have Macbeth putting from 2015.
It's a right off the bat. Inner core. We're gonna basically try to do the same thing.
Heck yeah.
Game on.
Flip for him.
Nope. That's fine. We're in range.
All right.
We'll just make the putt. That's great. That's great. The beautiful part about playing in the winter, right, is that everything's dead.
There's got to be plastic under. Yeah. Okay. I was like, there's some crunchy leaves.
That's actually in my bones. Drink milk, boys and girls. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Yes,
there
sir.
We go.
Come on. We're on the Robbie C channel. We make putts here. That's what we're doing. Is that like your ideal starting range for a putt? Is like, it's not close enough that it feels like a gimme, but it's
far enough that like you don't, I would say that's ideal. As long as I make it, it's ideal.
That's fair.
I don't like starting the round on a miss, and you're setting yourself up to start a round on a miss if you're like 40 feet out. But it's a lot better than 20 feet out and you miss.
That's fair, that's fair.
We got another 250 foot hole, also under some trees out there. I forgot I can like look away from the camera and talk. Lab mics, that's fun. So between those two evergreens, sitting in a little mulch pile, must get birdie, I would say.
Okay, looking forward to missing it then. Speaking of what we're missing, I'm an avid board game guy. A lot of our viewers are board game people, but you are notorious for really loving a specific board game that a lot of people dislike. What are we missing about Monopoly that draws you to it?
Okay. Well, first off, I think a lot of people play Monopoly wrong. Monopoly's not supposed to be a 4-hour-long board game. No money on free parking. We don't mess with that. If you land on go, you ain't getting 400.
Okay.
We don't mess with that. If you pass go and you don't say anything and the banker doesn't give you 200, you just gave it up and you missed it.
Yeah.
We're a little bit ruthless on that front, which helps speed the game up. But I think more so, More so, I think what I love about Monopoly is there's like sneaky strategy under it. And so if you play with people who like don't know how to play Monopoly, then it's pretty easy to beat them when you like use strategy. But I have a group of people that we played every Monday. We had a night called Milkshakes and Monopoly.
Okay.
And we would make milkshakes and play Monopoly.
Did you change your milkshake flavor?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, it always a cookies and cream base, and then chocolate, peanut butter. You know, just kind of mix and match.
I love it.
But all of us played together every week, and that's how like I fell in love with Monopoly.
Okay.
So what would happen is each of us had different strategies. So I'm get brown and blue, light blue property early, hotel it up,
Okay.
And then, because you can get a hotel on both of those for very dirt cheap.
Oh yeah.
And then when you're early in the game, people are already scared of you. Then you use that power to start dominating the later half of the board.
Yeah, okay.
Other people I played with, my sister-in-law absolutely loved the worst properties on the board, the last two blues.
Oh yeah.
So she was done before the game even started. Every once in a while she would win one because she'd get like a hotel on one and someone happens to land on it and you're screwed, but
yeah,
they're the least probable places to hit.
Yeah, that's fair.
So everyone had different strategies, and I think that's when I really fell in love with the game, was you started to see strategy in a game that other people thought were so simple.
Well, you heard it here first. Most of you are playing Monopoly wrong, and I think that just sums it up.
Yeah.
Now, do you play any spin-offs of Monopoly, like Monopoly Deal, or?
Yeah, Monopoly Deal is a great one. There's Monopoly House Divided, which is a little bit political, which is kind of fun. So you're like are either on the Republican or Democrat party. They don't call it Republican or Democrat, just red or blue.
Yeah.
So that one's kind of fun. I forget exactly how it works, but there's like different voting and stuff in it. And then there was a Monopoly, I think it was called like Empire, where you're buying brands. That one's really fun too.
Okay.
Trevor and I found one, but we never were able to buy it, where essentially, it was like Monopoly, but you could like invest in the stock market while you were going too. So as stocks went up and down, you like got more or less money too. It was, there's a lot of different ones out there. Oh, there it is.
Bang.
Shouldn't have called it a musket.
That's what does it. This is, if you guys have ever watched Foundation at all, this is iconic at this point. How many of the of the core, like we see all on video, how many of the Foundation guys have aced this hole at this point?
On video, aced it?
Just in general.
In general, I believe me, Trevor, and Silas are the only three. Trevor can fact check me.
Yeah.
I think we're the only three. I didn't get it on video.
Okay.
Right? I don't think I've gotten it on video.
Yeah. Silas has
I've chained out a few. Silas has it off the lines. Trevor just straight up got it. Did you skip shot it or just straight? He just straight got it.
I love it.
Connor was out here for 9 hours, had the blisters to prove, but he didn't get it. But I don't have the footage to prove it. I've got it a few times, only once since starting Foundation. Most of the times was before. I used to get it with a Nova. Was my pledge. Nova up the middle.
Dude, incredible. Music tastes. If you're driving in the car, we're gonna call it because I'm gathering that this area, it's kind of like 20 minutes to everything, but nothing's really 5 minutes away.
Yep.
So if you got a 30-minute car drive,
okay.
What kind of music are you listening to? Are you a podcast, audiobook, music, or silence?
2000s pop punk.
2000s?
Trevor and Connor get sick of it. That's
pop punk.
we're going on a road trip.
Hit me with some artists. What is that?
Oh, I mean, honestly, I don't have like go-to artists. What I do is I go on Spotify, search 2000s pop punk, and pick different playlists every time and just shuffle play it.
Okay.
I just let it roll.
Okay.
I mean, if I had to, like, if you tied me down, you're like, you got to listen to one.
Yeah. I'm trying to even think like what fits that, like what is 2000. Like,
I mean, I'm not musically inclined enough to tell you exactly what fits in it, but like Blink 182, I'd probably be in there.
Yeah. Already the voice inside my head.
I slide Paramore in there a lot too.
Oh, dude, Misery Business. What a track. Oh,
one of the you might respect this. Connor and them had never heard of it, but I don't know if you'll know it. Oh, that's a dirty roll. I don't know if you'll know it. I
love a good roll away.
It took me forever to find this song again. It was the first concert I ever went to, and I really wanted to find it. I couldn't find it. I'm trying to stall because I can't remember the name of the song. It's by Anne Boleyn though. You know Anne Boleyn?
Anne Boleyn, yeah, absolutely.
Their main song. I don't know what it is anymore. Starts off.
I know there was a Anne Boleyn song on like a rock band or something.
That was probably most of my music taste comes from rock band.
Okay.
I was formed by rock band and Guitar Hero.
You've got.
So I've got some like Indestructible by Disturbed. It was on their. It's not on that album. It's on their. Go back. It's on this top one. New Surrender. Feel Good Drag. That's
Feel Good Drag.
Yeah, that's like my go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good stuff. You say you're not musically inclined. I tell people all the time that I'm not allowed to have musical opinions because my favorite musical artist of all time is Owl City. So
I respect that. Fireflies, if it wasn't played as much as it was, I probably would enjoy it. Same thing as like Good Time with Carly Rae Jepsen.
Dude, always a good
I would have liked both of those if they weren't played my entire high school. Oh!
Maybe this is just how we'll get through this course is
one of us birdies, one of us pars.
Birdie par, birdie par, birdie par. Okay, so next hole, we're gonna keep going down the sort of like memory vibe. Not really, right? We'll see.
Okay.
So you're obviously like a huge UNC fan. No, huge Duke fan. What would you pay for courtside UNC Duke tickets? Like, what would you be willing, not even monetarily necessarily, like, what are you willing to give away for courtside seats, Duke UNC?
I have to remember I'm married, and so my wife would have to approve of my answer. So when Zion Williamson was at Duke.
Yeah. I'm a Michigan State fan, so I remember that year.
Yeah.
I remember those years well.
So Zion Williamson's at Duke. Duke was, I mean, they were primed for a tournament run everyone was expecting. Zion Williamson, RJ Barrett was one of their best teams, talent-wise. And obviously UNC's rolling into town. And I've never been to a Duke UNC game. I've been to a few games at Cameron Indoor, never been to a Duke UNC game. Well, I sat down on my computer and I looked up tickets, and we're not talking courtside, we're talking like upper deck, middle of the court, but like 5 rows back, upper deck. So solid seats.
Absolutely.
They were $5,000 a piece. And I was sitting there, and I'm trying to remember what year it was. Liz and I were married, but not for long at that point. And I called her, and she was like, I was like, look, you don't understand. Like, this is my dream. This is everything I ever wanted. Like, if my dad will buy the other ticket, can I spend $5,000 on it? And I mean, we were not in a position to spend $5,000. It wasn't like oh yeah, no problem. It was like, that was a very poor financial decision, but I knew Zion Williamson's gonna pop off. I'm never gonna have a chance to see a Duke team like this again. And I called my dad. Liz told me yes.
Wow.
So I'm in.
So we're ready to go.
I called my dad. And my dad's not a huge Duke fan, but he likes him because I like him.
I love it.
And I'm like, Dad,
good dad.
Look, I've talked to Liz. I'm about to do it. Will you spend $5,000 and buy the other ticket? Sit next to me. Let's go watch Duke UNC. It was in like 3 days. I'm like, let's go down there. We'll get a hotel. Let's watch this game. Yeah. And he's like, to be honest, son, like, why don't you just come up to my house and we'll watch it on TV? Like, it's gonna be like the traffic down there. He lists through these different excuses, and I'm like, all right, well, like, I'm not gonna ask my dad to spend $5,000 to go to a game he doesn't want to go. So like, all right, you know what? That does sound like fun, Dad. I'll come up and watch it with you. Sure. Come up. 3 plays into the game, Zion blows his shoe out, and Duke loses. So thank goodness that didn't happen. But to answer your question, apparently $5,000 I would, and that's not courtside. You wouldn't even blink. That wasn't courtside.
I love it. I love it.
Apparently that's how much I would want to go.
I love it. Come on.
If anyone has a hookup, please let me know. I will send you a lot of discs for Duke UNC tickets. A whole lot of discs. Like, we're talking $100 a disc coming your way for Duke UNC tickets. But it has to be at Cameron Indoor, so obviously it can't happen this year. All right, this hole.
Hole 3 or hole 4.
New disc in my bag, the Omen.
Ooh.
It's up on the right there, 235. Try a little forehand with it. Maybe a little short, I think. Oh no, it's fine.
That looks looks great. We're just gonna go with a Firebird.
Get through her. Oh.
Hey, that's better than we could have asked for.
Yeah, you got to
with
putt
the floor roll. That's fine. That's fine. But we're trying to limit test the Lunas and see what they can do. Obviously, there's a guy who is pretty decent, and he putted 75 feet on hole 17 to win Worlds.
Yeah, he's okay at this distance with him. Oh! Polecat would have been in.
I'm not trying to doubt the Luna. I gotta learn to love her sometime. We're gonna be together all year.
That's how I'm with the Ions. I can't talk bad about them. I'm locked in. See? Just cornhole, baby. Cornhole. You don't need chains if you cornhole it in,
baby. Hole 5.
255. Everything's about 250. If you say 250, you're probably in the right range.
Yeah, it's 250-ish. Downhill. Gotta hit a gap.
Mando.
Is it a double Mando or just a single?
Just a single.
Okay.
Just a single. It's because people used to go the Spikeiser line.
Yeah,
and they wanted the safety of the people sitting down there.
That's fair.
To be brought into consideration. So down the middle.
Sometimes Mandos are necessary. Speaking of necessary, most sentimental disc in your entire collection.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me throw and think. Most sentimental disc. That's a tough one.
Hey, we like the double.
Cross the path. That's safe.
Yeah.
Pass OB.
Okay.
Most sentimental. I mean, I can go a few different directions here.
All right, walk me in those directions.
So I have a few Discmania. That's a beautiful line. Great shot. I have a few Discmania discs that I had the opportunity to go to Australia for the Aussie Open in 2017.
Okay.
And UC, Maresma, and Eagle gave me a D-line FD straight out of his bag, and then UC gave me a first run European team stamped FD out of his bag and a PD out of his bag. So those discs mean a lot to me, just because like they're sick discs.
Yeah.
I throw the PD here and there. The FDs, they're on the wall. I don't touch those. But sentimental as far as like my playing goes, I've got Old Trusty, which if you watch the channel long enough, you'll remember that buzz that always did me dirty. That was like the first disc I bought once I was actually aware of like there's more discs out there than like my Archangel and Birdie. Okay. That was that buzz. Yeah. Sucks
and
now.
And the first dive into Discraft.
What?
And a first dive into Discraft.
It was my first, yeah, it was definitely my first. Well, no, I might have had a magnet from a used section, but the buzz was the first, like, I choose you Discraft disc.
I choose you, Buzz.
But I think my most sentimental I gotta go with is, it's a disc that's nicknamed OD. It has a stamp on it of an Old Dominion like club championship, which is like a local club championship. I never got to play in it, but I played a tournament and got a bad concussion night before the tournament. Went to the hospital, was in the hospital till like 2 a.m. To make sure my brain wasn't bleeding. The doctor, I was at the hospital by myself because I was with a few buddies. They went back to the hotel room to play poker and left me in the hospital. Questionable decision on their part, but that doesn't matter.
You know, you gotta finish the round sometime.
Yeah, and so they picked me up at like 2 a.m. and they asked me like, what the doctor say? I don't remember. So I'm like, I'm good to play in the morning.
Yeah.
So I played, cashed an MA1.
That's an MA1. That's why we take our bag off. Fools.
And got some sweet plastic, and one of them was this D1. It's a 400 plastic D1 with the Old Dominion disc series stamp on it. And so how I got it was sentimental, and then what made it really sentimental is my senior year of college at nationals and kind of some tournaments leading up to it, it just became my workhorse. Where like I couldn't miss a line with this shot. And so I would pull it out, and like Trevor and Pete and the other guy on the team, Ryan, would like instantly be like, OD! And like, I just have so many memories of that disc that I still have it on my shelf. It's gotten way too flippy now, so I won't put it back in the bag, but that one I think I have the most memories. Like when I pick it up, I can just like feel good,
feel the confidence.
Good shots coming off of it. Yeah,
I love it. Definitely your box still. That's why I missed the putt, is so that way I don't have to throw the blind shot first.
I respect that. I respect that. Yeah, another 250-foot hole. I told you all of them. Right over the hill, a little bit to the right.
Yeah. Question for this one is, so you have a company, it's called Foundation Disc Golf. Obviously, you started it with Paul, and we know that. Why Foundation? Like, where did that name come from? And did y'all like have it and you were like, let's do this, and you started the business immediately? Like, why the name Foundation?
So we actually named it a year and a few months before it ever started with Nick Carl at the time. It was me, Paul, and Nick Carl when we first named it, first logo design, which has never seen the light of day. It's on my computer somewhere. It is hideous. But we named it Foundation, and it was like a twofold name. First and foremost, the original idea for Foundation, kick right, was to be a lot more local. When we first came up with it, I don't even think we were really thinking much about online at all back in 2018 when we first thought of it. And then when 2019 rolled around and me, Paul, and Zach started Foundation, we were more focused on online. He was signed with Discraft at that point, and we had a lot more opportunities thanks to Discraft to do stuff. And so the name Foundation, though, originated, we wanted to be, the disc golf scene here was still growing, and we wanted to be somewhere that everyone could come and we could build a strong foundation that the Lynchburg disc golf scene could flourish from. So that was point A. Point B was the parable in the Bible of building a strong foundation. One built their house on sand, one built their house on the rock, one on the rock stood. We wanted a strong foundation for the business, and you know, it was a good little lineup of foundation, and it just was a cool name.
I love it.
All in all, so it was actually Paul came up with the name in and of itself and all of that, and then we just kind of ran with it. It found the meaning, and it like reminds you kind of what you're here for, what you're doing everything for, every time you think of it.
Come on. Based on the fact that Hunter was like, kick right, I was like, all right, I gotta be right. Mission accomplished. Game on.
Ah.
Nope, too much.
Uh-oh.
Keep going. That's okay. I'm putting more pop on things because I'm like, oh, my hands are cold.
Okay, well that's typically the opposite of what happens.
Well, I think it's because I'm over exaggerating, like because I'm afraid of it's gonna come out.
I respect it.
Unclean. Unclean. Ay, caramba. Personality assessments overall.
Okay.
How do you feel about them? Take them or leave them? If you're taking them, which one do you take or like? And if you leave them, why? Does that make sense?
No.
Like, so how do you feel about personality assessments overall?
Oh,
yeah,
like Enneagram, stuff like that.
Myers-Briggs, StrengthsFinder, all that.
I respect it. I understand the benefits of it in a lot of areas. I think it's good for, I think there's certain scenarios where you're trying to understand why you perceive things a certain way. Totally. And sometimes those can provide clarity.
Yeah.
But personally, I just leave them. Like, I'll take them for fun. Yeah. But I think funny enough, it depends a lot on where you fall on the personality type assessment as to how much power you give to them.
That's fair.
Over your day-to-day life. For me, I take it like a BuzzFeed quiz.
Okay.
Like it's fun to know, but it means nothing to me personally. But I fully respect people who it means a ton to, because I understand the flip side of that coin. There's stuff that I put a lot of power over my life that other people would probably be like, the frick, that's pointless. That means nothing.
That's fair.
Like Duke basketball, exactly. Like some people would pay $5,000 for Enneagram. I'd pay $5,000 to see Duke UNC. We're just different people, you know what I mean?
Different folks.
That's crushed. It's kind of good to the long basket, which, by the way, is what we're playing this time. No.
Okay.
There
it is. Okay.
Where it started fading, you wanted it to be done.
Okay.
I throw.
Yeah, the forehand up top is a good option.
Go.
Okay.
Yep.
That's going to be really far left.
That was a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, we have upshot from
That's
there.
fine. That's fine. All right. It's just a polecat, possibly polecat.
No, just polecat.
Polecat.
Get in there. That was a great stop.
That's fine.
That's where he was wrong. It was a PA3 ion this whole time. That just sounds like a chemistry problem. Yeah. See,
Ooh.
that's why I'm doing the cornhole putt.
Cornholio, baby.
Look at that. 2-foot comebacker, not missing that one.
Hole 8, having played this hole once in my life, this will be twice. Elevation is the worst because I'm telling you guys, you've seen them play this hole and we've seen them play it really poorly. It's very uphill. So forgiveness being the key here. Speaking of forgiveness, in the internet, you guys have a reputation. You're like the Bible boys or the, gosh, there's so many iterations of this that come together. Reddit especially loves lump you guys in there. I mean, I remember announcing like I'm joining Foundation. It was like, oh, you're going to join the Reverend Ragbull, like whatever. I don't even know, bro. So how do we feel about the name, like the nickname and all of it? I'm sure no one's ever asked you publicly.
Yeah.
Like we hate it. We're okay with it. What's the vibe?
I'm more than okay with it. Because to me, I mean, obviously as a Christian, you're called to be set apart. You're called to live your life differently than the world, which is gonna look weird and look different in different aspects. You know, there's things that like we refuse to curse. There's not that, you know, some Christians curse. That's not a here nor there topic, but you know, there's ways that we choose to live our life, both on and off camera, that is different than how your average everyday person would choose to live their life.
Yeah.
And that's obviously because of my faith in Jesus Christ as my Savior, and, you know, dying on the cross saved me from my sins. And I believe that calls me to be set apart and to be different. And so, to me, honestly, I know people throw it at me as an insult, but I take it as a compliment, because it makes me realize, like, hey, I must be doing something to show I'm a Christian, to show where it's not everyone's cup of tea, and I'm never going to be one of those Christians that shoves it down your throat.
Yeah,
you know, if I'm asked about it, I'll answer any question. I believe a lot of Christianity is supposed to be more relationship than religion.
Dude,
and so I'm not trying to be out here and start every video with, like, all right, before we on the first tee, let's bow our heads and pray and read through the Bible. No, but, you know, I do want my life to reflect Christ.
Yeah.
And to me, it just means must be doing it in some way, shape, or form. I'm far from perfect, and you can watch me on Twitter to find that I don't always do that. But hey, that's just every man struggles.
Yeah. Amen.
So no, I welcome it. I embrace it, and you know, I might not be liked for it, but hey, I'm not supposed to be.
Get it. Come on.
Pure
Great
gap
shot.
too, huh?
That would have been a God thing if you'd aced.
Yeah, I know. If I would have aced it, a lot of people would have been questioning stuff.
I was an atheist, and then
Hunter aced hole.
He hit that gap, and it kicked off, and an angel literally grabbed it and threw it in. Yeah, man, it works. It works.
Yeah, nice shot.
There we go.
Inner core.
Trash.
Hey, we might star frame it.
Yeah.
I don't want to jinx us. We've missed shorter. You thought I was going to miss that, didn't you? I did. It's just cornhole with chains. That's all we're playing out here.
Okay. Hole 9.
One of our best ace shots here.
Yeah.
Ace
This
chances.
is. But if you miss the ace, you're like, she gone.
To a certain extent.
Okay.
Can be.
If you're bad, you full speed ace, it's way gone.
If you full speed ace run it, yeah. This is a jump putt ace run.
Okay. Yeah, that ain't me.
Okay.
I'm just gonna polecat
Polecat
right at it, right?
Yeah.
So final question, as disc golf continues to grow, where do you see you serving your biggest role inside of the sport?
Fantastic question. Me personally, I think as disc golf and foundation continues to grow and evolve, I think that I will be more and more on the media side with all the podcasts and everything that we're building. I think that's where my role I'll continue to grow into. I think foundation's role, I mean, we're looking just to be impactful on the sport and grow the sport as much as we can in every aspect. So I think our retail store, we have lofty goals and aspirations for that. We want to provide a lot of in-person stores as the years go on to different communities. We're trying to, that's a terrible shot, run more tournaments and stuff. So I think foundation, you know, we're growing in a bunch of different ways, but me personally, where I'm passionate about and I see a lot of growth opportunity is on the media front, both with like our silly day-to-day videos we do, disc golf reviews. I think that's a big market that we're getting more and more into. And then obviously the podcast and analyst side. That's what I love, is what I'm passionate about. Yeah. And I think that does, I mean, it's stuff that I'm trying to create content that when I got into the sport, I wish I could have watched. That's my goal day to day.
Same. That like that. Yeah, that is the entire heart of why Robbie C started. It's the like, man, if I would have had someone telling me stop doing this, there is 7 years of habits that I could have just been like, nah, I'm good.
Oh, great shot. Thought you had it there.
Love to know so much you got a dog version of it.
I named my dog after the Nova.
There it is.
The Nova was my polecat.
That's fair.
Would you like get a cat and name it Pole?
Well, the trick is I would never get a cat.
Would you get a dog and name it Polecat?
That I could be convinced into.
Yeah. Or what is a polecat? Is a polecat a skunk or a ferret?
I think it's like a ferret-ish thing.
Would you get a polecat?
Got the Pokemon game, and one of the first Pokemon I came across, the whole stream went nuts, and they were like, "That's a polecat."
That's incredible.
That's what we do.
You need to get a ferret and call it polecat.
All right, so that's gonna wrap it up for front nine. Birdie Talks. I have literally no idea where the score is at, because the score is not relevant here. We're just out here having a good time. I'm sure, like, do you know where you're at?
No.
Yeah, same.
I was about to be like, I'm up 3, but I have no idea.
I mean,
wanted to just say it, and the comments would all correct me. Like, Hunter, you're down by 5. Stop it.
No. So that's the front 9. You'll see a link to, well, eventually, once it's live and you're watching this later, there'll be a little card right here to catch the back 9. But feel free to join us. We got 9 more questions. And on the back 9, we got 5 that'll be a little more personal as well. So we flip. It was 5 like stock questions on the front, 4 personal. The back, we're gonna dive deep. It's gonna be good.
Well, I felt like we already dove deep, so I can't wait for the back.
Game on. As always, want to say thank you for watching. Hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and please make it fantastic for someone else too. But for now, we're gonna leave you with the birdie.